The Tale of the Wise King and the Prince. Once upon a time, in the ancient kingdom of Vardhan, there ruled a wise and just king named Rajendra. King Rajendra was renowned throughout the lands for his sharp intellect, deep wisdom, and unwavering commitment to justice. However, despite his noble reign, he often found himself troubled by a personal dilemma. His only son, Prince Veer, was drawn to the fleeting pleasures of the material world. He was fond of indulgence, luxury, and the comforts that wealth and power could provide. Rajendra feared that if his son did not learn the true path of life, he would never be able to rule the kingdom justly or lead a peaceful life. One evening, as the sun began to set, casting a golden hue across the palace, King Rajendra called his son into the royal garden. The garden was lush with blooming flowers, fragrant trees, and bubbling fountains. The prince entered the garden, his eyes gleaming with youthful exuberance. "Father," Veer said with a grin, "this garden is a symbol of the greatness of our kingdom. Surely, all the comforts of the world are here for us to enjoy. What more could a man need than this?" The king looked at his son with a mixture of love and concern. "Veer," he began softly, "you see only the surface of things. What you call comforts are merely temporary. The pleasures of the world are like the sweetness of a fruit, but once consumed, the sweetness fades. The happiness they bring is fleeting and can never satisfy the deeper longing of the soul." Veer's face darkened with confusion. "But, father, how could something so beautiful be so fleeting? How could these pleasures, the riches, and the joys of the world not bring lasting contentment?" Rajendra smiled gently and took his son's hand. "Let me tell you a story, my son, of a wise sage who once walked the earth. The sage, known as Ashvathama, was a man of great wisdom. People came from far and wide to seek his counsel, and he would often say, if you desire to be free from the cycle of birth and death, abandon the objects of sense gratification as poison." Veer frowned, trying to understand. The king continued, "Ashvathama once came upon a village where the people were sick and weak. The villagers had become addicted to a certain fruit that, though sweet to the taste, contained a poison that gradually sapped their strength. The sage, seeing this, called the villagers together and said, 'This fruit, while it may seem to bring joy, is like the pleasures you seek in life, temporary and ultimately harmful. It will give you sweetness in the moment, but it will rob you of your strength and your true happiness.' Many villagers were skeptical, but one young man, tired of suffering, decided to trust the sage. He gave up the fruit and instead embraced a life of simplicity. He chose patience, mercy, cleanliness, and truth. He learned to endure hardships, to be kind to others, and to live uprightly. Over time, he grew stronger and wiser, and soon the entire village followed his example." Veer listened intently, his curiosity piqued. Rajendra continued, "The moral of the story, my son, is that true happiness does not come from indulging in the temporary pleasures of life. They are like the fruit that may seem sweet at first but, in the end, poison the soul. It is through forbearance, upright conduct, mercy, cleanliness, and truth that one finds lasting peace. These qualities are the nectar of life, and when you drink from them, you will never hunger for more." Prince Veer was silent for a long while, contemplating his father's words. He had always sought pleasure and luxury, but he now understood the deeper truth that his father was trying to impart. The sweetness of worldly pleasures could never compare to the peace and joy found in living a virtuous life. Years passed, and Prince Veer grew into a wise and compassionate ruler, just like his father. He ruled Vardhan with fairness, mercy, and humility, always remembering the lesson of the wise sage. The kingdom flourished, not just in wealth, but in peace and happiness, for the people knew that true joy came not from possessions or pleasures, but from living a life of virtue. And so, the words of the great Chanakya rang true: if you desire to be free from the cycle of birth and death, then abandon the objects of sense gratification as poison. Drink instead the nectar of forbearance, upright conduct, mercy, cleanliness, and truth. Thus, the kingdom of Vardhan thrived, and Prince Veer became known as the King of Peace, a ruler whose wisdom and virtue led him to eternal happiness. This story reflects the timeless wisdom of Chanakya Niti, teaching that true fulfillment comes not from fleeting desires but from cultivating qualities that nurture the soul. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.